Welcome to today's show, Success and Intentional Lifestyle. I'm your host, Jeff Heiser, a motivator, a leader, and a communicator. Good morning and welcome to Success and Intentional Lifestyle. I'm your host, Jeff Heiser, and I am so happy that you've tuned in to hear today's show. Many thanks go out to everyone who's listening around the world and all the new friends I've made over the last week or two. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you know who you are. Avis, you're one of them. I hope your morning has been a great start to a wonderful day. You know, this weekend was the first weekend in a long time that I woke up on like Sunday morning and it was overcast and it started raining by like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it rained most of the day. And it's overcast again here this morning, so I don't know what's going on. This is supposed to be the Sunshine State, and you know, we all complain when it's sunny out and we all complain when it's raining out, but there is a good part of the year, and it's coming up, and from about October until about May, it is paradise down here in Florida. So I hope you've had a good weekend. I hope you did some great things. You know, Saturday morning, I was up way before most of you people were out of bed. I was running the bridges down here. That's the only place that we have that are like mountains. You know, back in when I was like 17, 18 years old, I stayed with my grandfather out in Tucson. And there was a place called Sabino Canyon. And every morning I would get up, I'd go down to Sabino Canyon, and I would run the full length from the bottom all the way to the top of Sabino Canyon, all the way down, you know, back and forth. And I was getting ready, I was going into the Navy. I was going to go be, at that time I had planned on being a Navy SEAL, and unfortunately I got disqualified because of an injury that I had received prior to going into the Navy. But I prepared myself. I was getting ready. You know, we're going to talk a lot about that today. Before we start, I just want to, I need to do a few admin things. So if you want to find out more about Success and Intentional Lifestyle, you can visit Jeff Heiser Radio website at www.jeffheiserradio.com. That's www.jeffheiserradio.com, or by visiting facebook.com/Jeff Heiser Radio. So, getting back to what I was talking about, this past Friday, I was with my daughter and my two grandsons, and there's a bridge down by where she lives, and we ran over that. I was pushing a stroller with my grandsons in it, and my daughter, she brought a phone with her just in case she had to call 911. She didn't know what Pops might be up to, so she was a little concerned about how intense I was going to get. But what I noticed was there was a lot of people. This was Friday morning, and there were at least 25, 30 people or more doing the bridge run, and in both directions. And it made me start thinking about the shows that I've been doing over the last couple months. And I realized that there's one piece of what I've been talking about that I've left out. And, you know, over the past few months, I've been talking a lot about, you know, your mental health, your mental toughness, putting in hard work and setting your priorities, and why winning is important. But you know what I realized Friday is that regardless of all your hard work, all of the priorities and the goals that you set, none of it means anything without a commitment on your behalf, from you. Your personal commitment to make it happen is what brings all this about, what brings you the wins, what brings you the success. Look at your personal commitment as your intention to produce results. Now, Friday, there were a lot of people out there that were intending to produce results. Not necessarily right then, but with what they were doing, they were probably looking at trying to lose some weight or get in shape or stay in shape, or maybe they're preparing for a race. My youngest son out in Dallas, he sent me a picture yesterday from his dashboard. It was 102 degrees, and he was setting out to go run. I think it was 5, 7 miles, 10 miles, something like that, because he has a huge race coming up in Chicago this coming weekend, where it's an 8-hour race, and he has to place within the top 10 or top 25 in order to be considered a competitor in the World Championship of Tough Mudders in November in Las Vegas. So he's been committed to his workouts and his preparation for this race that's coming up. We all have good intentions to produce good results or produce results. Sometimes I think some people don't have good intentions. I think they have bad intentions to produce results. I don't know. It just seems like sometimes, it would have been better left undone. But we all have intentions to produce results. They can be as simple as showing up for a meeting. And not just showing up for the meeting, showing up for the meeting on time. Or as complex as starting a new business. I learned a hard lesson in high school from the coaches, and when my son was playing college football, he learned a very hard lesson about being on time to meetings in college football. And that lesson that we both learned is that if you show up on time, you're late. And that was a lesson I learned in high school. I learned it again in the Navy, and then I learned it again through my son with what happened to him. He showed up on time. The coach said, "You're late." He said, "No, coach. You said 5 o'clock. Here I am." And he said, "No, if you show up on time, you're late. You're not going this weekend." And he didn't get on the bus. He didn't go. He didn't play in the game because he was considered late for the meeting. It's brutal. But he never missed another meeting in 4 years that he was there. See, your commitment is the bridge between what your vision or your idea is and your reality. Simply put, what you want, it's what you want and what is. That's the commitment. What you want and what you make of it. When you think about it, the difference between good intentions that become reality and just good intentions is how you take your vision or your idea and you create your reality. I know this is getting deep. You think commitment is just my force in producing something, or my intentions to produce something. It's not intentions. It's not the force. It's the commitment. It's you are 100% in on it. Look, commitment is more than just words. It's more than just good intentions. That's what makes this so important. Commitment requires action. And see, that's the difference between good intentions and your vision and what you're creating in your reality. It all has to do with what type of action you want to take to make this all happen. And that action and level of action is dependent upon your commitment to make it happen. Commitment it's much more than you are just interested or you are thinking about something maybe happening or an idea, a good idea. I've had lots of great ideas in my life. I mean, I've got notebooks full of great ideas in my life. Just since, I mean, I've got like 15 just since in the 2000s, since 2000. the year 2000 started. I got like 15 or 16 of these things. Big composition books just full with ideas and thoughts. But there's only been a very few of these things that I've written down that I've become committed to. TNR, Talk Network Radio, is one of those things that I've become committed to. I'm here every Monday. I'm here for the other radio hosts. We produce shows. I produce video, actually, through Media Fish Productions. I'm committed to that company that I've created. I'm committed to the audiences that I speak before, or I wouldn't be doing it. It's my actions that are speaking for me. See, I know deep down in my heart that that I've been willing to do whatever was necessary to make these things happen. When you're committed to something, you're no longer allowed to let yourself get sidetracked. You don't let yourself get sidetracked when you're committed. You no longer give yourself power or give the negative chatter in your head the power to stop you. You become very clear and very focused about the results that you want, and you take the steps forward to make that happen. That's the action. W.M. Murray, in his book, The British Himalayan Expedition, lays it out spot on when he states, and this is a little long, but this is fantastic, especially since in a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks, I think, I'll be starting to climb. This is Monday. It'll be Wednesday, August the 9th. I'll arrive in Denver, and we're going to climb 5 mountains in 3 days. So this is really, really spot on for me. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness, concerning all actions of initiative and creation. There is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidences and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamed would come his way. What an amazing statement. What he's saying is, until you make the decision, nothing happens. Until you commit yourself to whatever it is, nothing happens. Nothing. Considering what he is implying, commitment applies to everything. Everything. From extreme life changes to things we face every day. From giving your employer an honest day's work to fulfilling an assignment, to spending time with your family. Or, like in a couple of weeks, myself, climbing the 5 mountains in 3 days. That's a commitment I've made to myself and to my climbing partners that is what I'm going to do. See, in my experience, I've found people who are unable to keep daily commitments. Those are also the same people who are unable to keep big commitments. So if you can't keep a small one, you can't keep a big one. The question, I think, that is most important, but is seldom asked, is, do you understand that the power to get the things done and to make the things happen live within you? The power to get the things that you want or to get the things done all reside inside of you. I know a lot of people don't believe that. Trust me. I didn't 10, 15 years ago. I believe it now because it